Hi guys, my name is Andre aka Mark Renton, and today I'd like to talk about something that somebody came up on YouTube talking about intelligent drum and bass or atmospheric drum and bass pads like the big guys did in the 90s. There's some special synthesizers for that they are going to talk about. There's some special techniques that you should keep in mind if you would like to make the same sound like they did back then, or maybe an improvement of that. And yeah, I show you like some examples of the machines I've got here and the plugins, of course. And yeah, that's what we are going to talk about today. So first of all, what are the synthesizers and what's so special about them? So what I have in mind is like, you know, like the usual analog synthesizers. They have like the saw at a triangle or a square maybe as a waveform. But the digital synthesizers of the 80s or 90s had way more complex waveforms, and maybe also they sampled real instruments and we're combining them to complex pads. So that's basically what machines like the Roland JD990 and the Roland JV1080. But on the other side, there are also some very interesting digital synthesizers. But beside the usual subtractive synthesizers, there's, for example, Native Instruments FM7 and, of course, Absynth, which combines synthesizer technologies together. And I'm going to show you as well the Korg M1 as a plugin. Let me just show you what I'm talking about, okay? But you know, like it's not restricted to just hardware only. Let me show you also some very interesting plugin sounds like from the FM8. so you get the idea. I think what's interesting about these pads, it's like that they are not just based on the usual simple waveforms from the usual analog synthesizers like Square or Saw or whatever, but have complex waveforms. Let me show you some waveforms that I sampled, I think 17 years or 18 years already back from my JD990. Back then I made a photo of all these waveforms because I don't have the original manual anymore. And let us start maybe here at 50. Okay, you get the idea. They sampled some real instruments, and the way the JD990 works is you have like 4, I think, voices they call it, and one voice is like a real synthesizer which has like an oscillator, filter, amplitude modulation, effects, and so on, and then they combine this together. And these 4, what is it called, voices maybe makes one patch. And I think the same is done with the JV1080. It's just like that the display is smaller and the machine came out afterwards. Yeah, so that's one secret ingredient, that they basically have like complex waveforms. The second, or the next thing, what you can do is, and now let's go back to the maybe JD990, use really complex, or not just, like major or minor chords, but maybe some more complex chords. To be honest, I'm not really well-trained musician, but just like if you use like 4 fingers or maybe some more and it sounds good, then it's already good, right? So let me show you this. But what you can also do is you can use from Ableton Live, for example, this chord plugin, and there's a similar plugin in every DAW that I know. It's like, for example, which is adding additional notes on top. So 3 semitones, 7, maybe 10. Now, let's put this to the next level. Why not just combine some plugins together? So the next thing I would like to show you is the M1. Let us find some interesting patch over here. So listen to this. Add another chord progression here. Maybe 7. Okay, but let's maybe combine this with the hardware and play both together. Let's maybe add some more reverb, of course, because life would be boring without reverb, right? One more technique, like back then, these guys did not have all these synthesizers, I guess, because they were way more expensive than today. Usually you had some sample compilations like Ecstatic Goldmine and so on. So yes, they took it, put it into the sampler and played some notes and made a tune out of that. So let's do that. So what we're gonna do is we sample what we hear. So I can do it like that. Just use my loopback device, which records everything that can listen. Let's use the M1 and the FM8. listen to it. Okay, and now we put this into a sampler and use this node. Okay, maybe add some release. Add some reverb. Maybe add some filter. Maybe play some chords. Maybe add the chord plugin from before. Of course, finally add some modulation. So some phasers. So as of now, my phaser first choice is Serum. I really enjoy this plugin, as well as a FX unit. So let's add some phaser. Flanger. And other awesome things. Yeah, so you get the idea, right? It's all about becoming creative with this stuff you've got here and using complex things. And what we completely did not cover is adding modulation to that, right? So you could like, and this is especially Absynth is famous for, that you can add like complex curves to the modulation and then really modulate stuff like crazy like hell. And then I think things are getting even more interesting. What I also would like to encourage you, like especially the Rumpler synthesizers from the 90s, as of now they're very cheap, like the JV1080 I got for 160 euros, so that's I think like nothing for that machine. But especially all these machines from the 90s, you get them these days, you get them very cheap. You really should buy them now. I think now is the best time to buy these things from the 90s and yeah, like make awesome atmospheric drum and bass music as well for our future, right? And for our kids. Hope you enjoyed the video and maybe talk to you soon. Let me know what you think about my techniques and give me a like and a thumb up and subscribe and yeah, spread the word. Thank you. Bye.